Before you even think about ignoring this, listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you could completely change how a woman sees you. Most men don't hear this truth. Most of them spend their lives talking to women in ways that make them lose their appeal without even realizing it. But here you are. If I stay with you until the end, I'll give you something truly valuable tonight, something that will stay with you long after we're finished. So take a deep breath, stay with me, and if you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Let me share a secret from a woman who dedicated her life to analyzing human behavior. Women don't notice when a man overdoes his attempts, but rather when he understands the pressure points that resonate with their psychological needs. Compliments are indeed effective, but only when they touch a sensitive chord that a woman is keeping hidden. The problem is that most men compliment women superficially or in a general way. You look beautiful, your hair is beautiful, your eyes are beautiful. Do you know what these things do? Nothing. They fade away. Every man tells you that. There's no emotional charge, no spark, no memory. But the moment a compliment is thrown her way, that unexpected, intimate feeling, something happens in her mind. She feels it, not just him. It stays. It turns into longing. While asleep, she thinks of lust. Men underestimate the depth of women's understanding of language. A woman's emotional mind is illuminated when a man notices something she never expected anyone to notice. The world tells men that women are complicated, but the truth is that women are so easily moved by emotions that men never learn to understand them. When you learn to express gratitude through feelings rather than appearances, you unlock a response within yourself that you didn't fully understand. There are 3 words of praise that will truly elicit this response. Once you learn them, you'll never go back to things you didn't understand. These aren't cliches or tricks. They're simple truths expressed in a way that touches their carefully concealed depths. Yes, when used correctly, they'll think of you, echo your words, and ponder your meaning. Before I praise you, you must understand the secret to their success. Because repeating words without any underlying emotion diminishes their impact. Women don't respond to mere phrases, they respond to the feeling a man experiences when he sees something others don't. This is where the importance of the first compliment lies. It's simple, yet it touches the very core of a woman's feelings with tremendous power. I love the way you think. When you say that, everything inside her stops, her breath, her thoughts, her defenses. You're not praising her looks, her body, her smile, or what she hears from strangers online, from her coworkers, or from strange men. You're praising the value she places on herself, the things she can't fake, the things she's dedicated her life to trying to shape. Women crave emotional appreciation, not physical appearance. When you acknowledge her way of thinking, you're talking about her essence, not her looks. Most men say things like, "You're smart," but these are superficial, vague, and quickly forgotten. When you tell her that you truly admire her ideas, perspectives, thought processes, creativity, logic, and intuition, she feels a sense of belonging. It feels like a real relationship. Women don't think about what men think of them. They think about men. The secret is this: women adore men who stimulate their imagination. And nothing stimulates their imagination more than a compliment that makes you analyze what you meant. You start replaying conversations, remembering every detail of what was said, and wondering exactly what you were thinking. She delves deeper into your words than you might expect. This emotional process creates a cycle that draws her back to you again and again. A woman wants the man who pays attention to her to feel that her inner world, the part she hides behind her smile, is known to her. When she says, "I love the way you think," she's telling you that you see in her the side she longs for. Believe me, women think about men who reach this level. When a compliment ignites imagination, curiosity, and emotional warmth all at once, it becomes an unforgettable seed. This compliment does the same. It's not loud or flashy, but quiet, meaningful, and incredibly psychologically appealing. The second compliment is even more powerful because it touches a woman on her most misunderstood vulnerability. Every woman, no matter how confident she is, carries within her a private world, thoughts she doesn't express, fears she hides behind jokes, and dreams that others deem unrealistic. When a man touches this emotional side with his gentle words, he not only softens her heart, but also opens her up to the world. This is gratitude. Your energy has a profound effect on me. You can't imagine how much it affects a woman. It might sound like poetry to a man, but it weighs heavily on a woman. Women constantly think about the impression they make on those around them, and they fear being too young, easily forgotten, or replaceable. When she says her energy is with you, she's telling you that she influences you in a way you can't control or imitate. You're not attracted to her looks or personality, but to the aura she naturally possesses, which is part of her light and consciousness. When a woman hears these words, she feels deeply. It makes her feel that she is not just a passing phase in your life, but a journey within its paths. And this is where psychology falls short. When a woman tells you that something about her is stuck in her mind, she immediately starts thinking about which part of it, which moment, which detail, which expression. This curiosity fuels the imagination. Not the kind of love, though it may follow, but the kind of emotional attraction you feel when you notice it unintentionally. Women think about being unforgettable. They think about leaving an indelible mark on a man's heart. They think about being the woman who stands out in a world where she doesn't exist. This compliment also shows that she already possesses it. Its power lies in its simplicity. You don't elaborate, nor do you try to impress her with complex language. You offer her a secret, a simple riddle, a warm, recurring question, especially when she's alone. She's thinking about the way you speak, your tone of voice, your gaze, your timing. And the more she thinks about it, the more emotionally connected she becomes to you. A woman's thoughts are the gateway to her attraction to you, and this compliment opens that door smoothly. Now we come to the third compliment. It draws her directly into the world of emotional attraction. It's not excessive affection nor desperation, but rather magic. Because this is what keeps a woman awake all night. It's so important to recapture those unexpected moments. This compliment is different. It's far more tender, warmer, and deeper than most men would dare to say. I feel more comfortable talking to you. Women love to be called beautiful. You might like to be told you're attractive or interesting, but when you tell her you're a source of comfort, you're telling her it has an emotional impact she might not realize. Women instinctively want to be a source of comfort for the man they're attracted to, not because they want to change him, but because women connect with each other through emotional presence. When you say these words to her, they have a profound impact. They show that you are not only kind, but also reassuring. She is not just someone you love, but someone you respect and value. And the more emotionally intelligent a woman is, the more she will feel this appreciation, because reassurance is so rare among men these days. Women understand the immense pressure men silently endure, the weight of responsibility they bear, and how seemingly unaffected they appear. So when you allow her presence to comfort you, you're telling her she's touching a part of you the world doesn't see. This is an intimate, emotional connection that fosters a sense of security, stability, and authenticity. And this feeling of security empowers a woman. She begins to think about how close she feels to you. Very close. Not just physically, not just socially, but emotionally too. This is where the fantasies begin. She starts thinking about your conversations, remembering your looks at her, and recalling your feelings when you were talking. Because she now realizes that your influence on her is deeper than just looks or attraction. It has an emotional impact. This is how women connect with men they respect. But that's the beauty of genuine compliments. They don't make you weak or dependent. They make you human in a world where men are taught to hide their humanity. And this honesty, when given with confidence, becomes attractive. When a woman realizes she makes a man happy, she doesn't forget it. She thinks about him, imagines him, and the memory lingers in her mind long after time has passed. Now that you know these three compliments, you'll understand why they affect you more deeply than simply attracting him. It's not about seducing a woman or memorizing phrases. It's about talking about the aspects of her personality that she feels most deeply about, the aspects she longs someone will finally notice. Women are emotional beings. They don't just hear words, they analyze them, react to them, and feel them. The compliments you give will shape the image she forms of you in her mind. Most men fall into the trap of complimenting women the way society dictates, prioritizing appearance over emotion. Women, however, tend to approach relationships differently, feeling emotional attraction before physical attraction. When a man is confident in his emotional presence, he becomes more attractive, masculine, and captivating in her eyes. It's not about her body or her looks, but her presence. That's why these compliments work. They touch on all aspects of her emotional personality, her intellect, the aspects she's proud of, her energy, the aspects she believes others genuinely feel for, and her influence, the aspects she wants others to feel comfortable with. Once you understand this, everything about how you treat women will change. You're unlike any other man, and she begins to talk about aspects of her personality that she doesn't readily reveal. Women are drawn to men who make them feel not only attractive, but also emotionally significant. This is where the psychological aspect becomes even more interesting. When a woman repeats compliments over and over in her mind, she subconsciously associates those feelings with the person she directed them to. This is called active attachment, when a feeling is firmly established in memory, warm, deep, or intimate. A woman will begin to crave the presence of the person who created it. Therefore, you don't have to be overly romantic, overly affectionate, or overly confident. It's enough to speak with genuine emotion. Women don't demand perfection. They are looking for genuine emotion. They want a man to speak from a place of deep understanding, not just superficially. The truth is, most men don't acquire this skill. They don't realize that what attracts a woman most to a man is how she feels when he speaks to her, not when he initiates conversation, supports her, expresses her feelings, or tries to understand her. Charming a woman is easy. If you want your kind words to linger in her mind long after you finish speaking, you need to understand something else. Words alone don't make a difference. It's the emotional atmosphere you create that makes them memorable. Women don't think in words. They think in terms of moments, and moments are made up of tone of voice, presence, timing, and sincerity. When you give these compliments, you can't just throw them out like most men do with a single compliment. You have to speak as if you're naturally expressing the truth. Women's emotions are powerful. She knows when a man is being hardworking, exaggerating, or going overboard, but she also knows when a man speaks from conviction. At that moment, her emotional defenses begin to melt away without her even realizing it. The secret to the success of these three compliments lies in the fact that they are not driven by greed. You're not dependent on her. You don't beg for her acceptance, nor do you seek it. You simply know how to get it. And the subtle change that arises from doing the opposite of what you want from her is what sets you apart from other men. A woman's appeal is built on commitment, not pressure. When you feel you're observing her, understanding her, and empathizing with her without draining her energy, she's drawn to you in a way you can easily describe. It's that emotional connection that makes you repeat your words over and over again all night long. But this is a truth most men overlook. The emotional impact stems from your presence, not your performance. If you speak slowly and calmly, conveying the meaning in every word, your compliments will linger in her mind instead of being forgotten. If you look at her calmly and confidently, without forcing her feelings, but with sincerity, she will perceive your devotion. Women respond to gentle singing, not exaggerated acting. That's why your presence is just as important as your words. When you listen to her, she feels safe. When you listen to her, she opens up to you. When you speak the truth, she feels understood. Without this presence, even the most beautiful compliments lose their meaning. Even a few simple words can make her think of you long after the conversation is over. In fact, women remember your feelings for them longer than your words. And when you combine the right words with the right presence, those feelings become unforgettable. Now that you understand the psychology behind these compliments, here's the part most men miss. It's not about memorizing phrases. It's about being a man whose words carry weight. Women don't judge a man simply because he once said something clever. They look at how he speaks because it reflects depth, understanding, and emotional maturity. When your presence is firm, your focus genuine, and your energy steady and purposeful, every compliment is amplified. Frankly, women crave emotional security. They want the man they're dating to feel vulnerable, unresponsive, or not trying to impress them. They want to feel that he knows who he is. That's why these compliments are so effective when they come from an objective standpoint. They describe not only him, but you as well. You show that you're a man who cares, who appreciates more than just looks, and who feels without being consumed by emotions. And there's more to it than that. When you show a woman emotional appreciation, you get to know her in a different way. If she's open, if she trusts you, if she's close to you, you'll begin to imagine her feelings. Because the man who sees her thoughts, her energy, and her emotional impact is not perfect, but rather because he reflects a kind of connection that is rarely found. This is how emotional attraction is born, not through grand gestures and bombastic words, but in quiet moments when you realize you understand her in a way that other men don't. This awareness grows, resonates in her mind, and stays with her even after the conversation is over. She begins to wonder what you too are noticing, feeling, and thinking about her. Once this feeling takes hold, it creates an emotional attraction that draws her to you without any obligation. So, use these compliments consciously, with presence of mind and sincerity, for connection, not deception. Because when you do that, you'll be the man she remembers in crowded places, the man she compares to others, the man she thinks about when the night is quiet and she's alone with her thoughts. And if you want more of these insightful ideas, deep psychological analyses, and practical tools that will radically transform your relationships, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now you realize how powerful you are when you learn the language of women.